All right, so it's 3 o'clock and we are here to get started with the languages and writing session. So my name is Danielle and I'm a student recruitment specialist here at VCC. Well, I guess I'm at home, but there at VCC, I am a student recruitment specialist. And we've got a few presenters who I will introduce shortly, who will be giving you some great program information. And we also have an advisor on the session today to answer your questions. We'll be giving you a bit of an overview and hopefully you'll learn something today. So just before we get started, this meeting is being recorded. Sorry, just letting people into the room. This meeting is being recorded. If you could keep yourself muted during the session, but if you have a question later on and you want to unmute, that's fine too. And please hold your questions until the end. In terms of questions, we're a smaller group today, so anybody that wants to ask a question out loud is welcome to do so, or you can post in the chat and I can read your question and direct it to the correct presenter. We also have a bit of a poll that we're going to do. Wait, where's mine? Here we go. So we're going to launch this poll just to find out a bit more about when you are hoping to start the program. And we'll share those results a little bit later on. So hopefully everyone can see that. And if you have any questions, you have any concerns, you can't see or hear, or you're having some tech issues, just let us know in the chat too, and we'll do our best to help you out. Okay, so of course I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are on the unceded Coast Salish territory, the territory of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh Nations. Our 3 campuses at VCC are located on these territories. And like I mentioned, my name is Danielle. I work in student recruitment, so that means I do this. I get to talk to students like yourselves, prospective students, about our different program offerings. And I really love chatting to students, finding out what their interests are, finding out how our programs can serve what they want to pursue in the future. Okay, so we're going to get started with our first presenter. So we're talking about sign language studies, and we have Mari up first.
Great. Hi, everybody. My name is Mari Clausen. I'm the department head for the ASL and Deaf Studies department. So now is the time to talk a little bit about my program?
Yeah.
Okay. So our program has been running for over 4 years now. We have a couple of different programs within the department, one of which is an ASL and Deaf Studies full-time 10-month program. So that one consists of 3 terms, a fall, winter, and a spring term. So 15 courses in total. It's a lot of fun. Students really enjoy it. So you learn ASL, you learn about deaf culture, how to become an ally to the deaf community. There's an ASL literature component, a deaf lit component, there's lab practice. It's really interactive. And you learn more advanced ASL skills and about various issues facing the deaf community. There's also a lot of opportunity for discussion. We also include working with deaf blind folks, how to work with the deaf and deaf blind communities in various ways. There's some personal and professional development. We encourage lifelong learning. In terms of prerequisites for that course, you do need to take and complete ASL level 1. Which we also offer. The ASL and Deaf Studies program, the 10-month program, is during the day and is all day from 9 to 3:30. We also offer evening courses in ASL, so level 1, level 2, and level 3. So that's where you go to learn basic sign language. Those are also a lot of fun. Students tend to have a really good time learning about a little bit about deaf studies and history and linguistics, grammar. We go over dialogue, non-manual signals. It's all very immersive classroom experience. So yeah, students typically really enjoy the courses that we offer. We also offer courses at quite a reduced price. I would say that we're probably the lowest price ASL offerings in BC. So those are the two kind of programs within the department. So hopefully, you may have some questions or you're interested in coming to attend.
Great, thank you very much. So we'll move on now to Sarah, but we will save your questions for the end, and we'll have a question and answer period after we speak with Sarah. So I'll pass it over to you, Sarah, to talk about business and technical writing, creative writing, and languages.
Sure, great, thanks, Danielle. So all of these program areas live within continuing studies. And what that generally means is a great deal of flexibility in the way that you can take the courses. Starting with, I'll start with the business and technical writing, which is a certificate program. And this, if you have seen an IKEA manual and instructions on how to, put in a battery into something or build a table, somebody had to write and design that. And that's what this course is about, is learning to put together those manuals to help the general public understand. And it covers writing and editing skills and effective information design, so that you can produce those technical documents for a general audience. There are 9 courses in total for this certificate. You can do 3 courses a term and finish within a year, but you can take a little bit longer too if you need to, if you are working and just need to kind of balance your work and life. Those 9 courses can be taken in any order, and there are no specific admission requirements. So if you're interested, you can simply sign up. The program is quite well connected with the industry. There's an association of business and technical writers. The president for that association is on our professional advisory committee. So that helps us keep this program very up to date and in line with what the industry is looking for. So then our creative writing classes, these are non-credit classes. They're kind of more general interest. Again, for these, there's no prerequisites, there's no admission requirements. It's basically, if you're interested, you can sign up. And the kind of writing that you can discover, we have screenplay writing, mystery novels, young adult, memoirs, kind of creative sparks to kind of get you going. And these classes really are to kind of prompt you to start your writing. If it's something that you've been interested in, but haven't quite put pen to paper, or I guess fingers to keys, this will just kind of give you that little incentive that you need to get rolling with your writing. And then finally, our languages programs. So these are also courses, and they're really good if you're interested in traveling, or maybe you have some ancestry that you would love to learn the language of your ancestors, or just general interest, a language that you would really like to learn. We have 9 different languages that we teach at VCC: Arabic, Cantonese, French, German, Japanese, Korean, Mandarin, Russian, and Spanish. And each of those language classes, we have multiple levels. So level 1, level 2, and so on. And again, you could take these in any order. If you just are really interested in learning how to speak French, then you can put all your focus there. And these classes, all of these classes for the business and technical writing, creative writing, and languages are all offered in the evenings, maybe the odd Saturday, but usually in the evenings after work. So, so you can keep working and kind of maybe indulge your personal interests, or look to start to change careers specifically with a business and technical writing certificate. I am not the program coordinator. for any of these areas. Joy is, her email is on the screen right now. So if you have questions, I'm here to answer them, but if I'm stumped by something, I will direct you to Joy, who can give you a bit more information.
Great, thank you very much, Sarah. So next, we will of course come back to questions about all these areas, but we are first going to speak with our advisor. Shifumi, are you in the chat? Let's see, sorry, my computer's struggling a bit. Oh yeah, there we go, hi.
Hi everyone, welcome to Experience VCC. My name is Chifumi. I'm from Advising Department. You may want to know if you meet the admission requirements, or do you need to take a course or an assessment. Maybe you're ready to apply to the program, want to know how to start it. To find it out, please speak to an advisor. We offer phone or Zoom appointment. Regular appointment is 30 minutes. In order to book an appointment spot, please call 604-871-7000, extension 2. And we are open Monday to Friday, and we open late on Wednesdays until 7. We also offer drop-in advising for quick question. Drop-in advising is Monday to Friday, 2 to 4. It's the same number, same day booking. To speak to an advisor. Today and tomorrow at Experience VCC, we have all-day drop-in advising room from 9:30 to 5. If you have a question, please drop by and ask us any questions about the programs, application, or admission. We also connect with all the student services department, and we are happy to connect you to the different service department to make your study at VCC would be fun and successful. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that great info, Shifumi. I did put the Zoom link to drop-in advising in the chat. So if you'd like to check that out after this session, they will be there till 5 o'clock. And also tomorrow, yeah. So also drop-in advising tomorrow going on for the rest of Experience VCC. Okay, now Sarah, I know you touched on a few things about what continuing studies means, but is there anything else you want to add in this section about that?
Just that I guess these are all of the classes that I've spoke about are registration, so you don't need to apply for them. And our continuing studies registration office will can help with that process of getting you signed up for a class.
Great, thanks so much. So I think now we can come to your questions. If you want to post in the chat, if you want to ask out loud, that's perfectly fine. If you're feeling a little shy, I have a couple questions to get the ball rolling, but we would love to hear from some of our prospective students out there. I'll give you a minute to think about it. And while you're thinking about that, I will share our poll so you have a bit of insight into who's in the room right now. Okay. Get that out of the. So it looks like a lot of 60% of our group is interested in starting this year. I was going to say next year, but no, it is in fact 2021. So that's exciting. All right. Any questions? Well, I might get us started just to hopefully. Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
For those of us who may have already had some experience with ASL, as far as the placement exam, I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but where you assess someone's skills, what does that look like?
Oops.
So an ASL assessment, it would depend. If you've taken level 1, then we know kind of where that would be equivalent. But depending on where you've taken ASL, for example, different areas, different regions have, different courses included, different number of hours, there's different curriculum. So if you don't have something that we have kind of standardized, then you would do an ASL assessment. And if we kind of deem you at an equivalent level to our ASL level 1, then we put you in ASL level 2. If we feel like you probably would benefit from starting at ASL level 1, then we put you there just to make sure you have the foundational skills to go from there. So, oftentimes we'll use transcripts. So initially we'll get you transcripts, and then we'd let you know if we needed you to come in for an ASL assessment, or if what you had was kind of good enough to satisfy the requirements.
Great, thank you very much. Do we have any other questions? You can post in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and go ahead and ask out loud for advising or for our presenters. Okay, well, I have a couple questions, if that's okay. Just to help students maybe understand what kind of students are in the program. I know, Sarah, that you mentioned about the languages. A lot of people are interested if they have heritage, but they don't speak the language. Is there any other type of student that you think is looking for these types of programs, or who's in the room in those courses?
Well, for languages, I would also say people that are potentially using it for business as well, right? If you are in a company with some kind of international connections, it may be useful for you to have kind of a level 1 language so that you can speak. Maybe not fluently, but at least make the effort to communicate. And one of the cool things that's happened in our languages area is that we had Japanese level 1 and 2, and we ended up with a group of students that were really keen on learning Japanese, and we now have up to level 5 Japanese, as the students have moved through the program together and just kept wanting to learn more and more and more. So there is, there's the potential to keep building in the language studies, especially if we end up with a strong group that's also has a keen interest. And generally, the number of students in a class is probably about 10 on average. So it's a fairly small group that is learning together. But of course, different people drop in all the time. It's not a cohort, usually not a cohort kind of based program. It's more general interest with different faces in the classes each time.
Great, thank you so much. I have a question for Trifumi as well, if that's okay. I know we in recruitment, I often work with advising a lot and try to learn as much as I can about what they do, and they're so imperative in supporting our students. Do you have any sort of advice or thoughts about what students can do to prepare for speaking to advising? Like, what should they already know? And what might they be looking to find out?
When students speak to us, we need to know their educational background. So it would help us if you already have the documentation, you can share it with us, or you can streamline what would be your question. Like if you want to know more about the program, you might also want to visit the VCC website to know a bit more about the program before you go and speak to an advisor. We also have a career counselor. If you're not sure which program would fit you, and talk to us about the admission requirements, but more looking for your future plan, we suggest you to make an appointment with the career counselor first to find out what would be your future plan will be. And once it's set, then we are happy to assist you how you can achieve your goal.
Great, thank you so much. And I do have one more question for Mari. Who do you think is an ideal candidate to enter this type of program? What kind of student is going to succeed in the program?
We get such a range of students taking our courses and programs. Some are interested in working in the deaf community. Some are members of the deaf, hard of hearing, or deafblind community themselves. There are a number of different career options. Many folks, are interested in becoming interpreters or educational assistants or nurses, or really anybody who kind of may work with somebody who is deaf or hard of hearing or deafblind and is interested in learning more about how to communicate with those people, how to become a better ally, how to work with members of these communities. So, we do teach a range of students about a range of topics and even including not only sign language, but cultural sensitivity and history. So there's a lot that is included in our programs.
Thank you. Yeah, that's really interesting. I know we've called this session languages, and we often refer to things as languages, but there's so many cultural components wrapped up in that. So thanks for sharing your program information. I do have a few more slides with a bit of info to get through. So maybe I'll go ahead and do those, and then we can come back to questions if we have time. So yeah, Shivumi already mentioned about many of our services, but just to reiterate, we do have our amazing advisors available today and tomorrow and also other times, but it's good to jump in there while you can and while this info is fresh in your mind. We also have our financial aid department. So if you missed financial aid this morning, we're doing it again. We're doing a session again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. And the link that you use to access this session, that page should have all the links for tomorrow as well. So you're welcome to join that session to learn about financial aid. Also, Indigenous Services is doing their presentation at 10:30 right after financial aid tomorrow morning. And Shivumi mentioned we also have the counseling service. So that's helpful to you if maybe you're needing some resources to discern what program might be a good fit. And our disability services, we recommend students reach out to them if they need accommodations, and they will work with you to make sure that you really do have all the tools you need to succeed in your desired program. And then lastly, we have our free professional tutoring, and that is being hosted, I believe, on Zoom right now, but that is continuing. And in terms of, I guess, sorry, I'm losing my words. It's been a long day. The way that programs are administered right now, we're operating at about 40%, from what I understand, of in-class, in-person instruction. And anyone can jump in if you catch me saying something, but that is what I understand. We still have students coming in because a lot of the courses are hands-on. September, we are hoping to be back, but of course that is subject to change. And I recommend you check out the COVID section of our website just for updates about how programs are being administered. That will give you the most up-to-date information. But honestly, we can't wait to have students back, and I can't wait to be back. So we look forward to that day. In terms of next steps, so if you're ready to apply, I'll show you the slide in a minute that has the application fee waiver code. So we are accepting applications and waiving that fee of $35. So we said today and tomorrow, but actually you have until April 30th to apply and have that fee waived. I've mentioned advising already, but yeah, the link is in this chat, and you can also book an appointment at another time. In terms of class sizes, I just have a question from Sean in the chat about class sizes. Our class sizes are across the board pretty small. I think some of the largest in other programs would be about 40 students in the university transfer. And I know, Sarah, you mentioned about 10 in some of the languages. Class sizes for ASL and Deaf Studies, Mari, is that a similar size in the 20s or something?
Depends on the year. we usually divide the program into 2 classes, typically 15, 16, 17 per class.
Great.
So in the program, about 30 students, 30 plus.
So, manageable class size for sure. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so yeah, in terms of the application fee waiver, you'll see a promo code at the bottom, info 0421. We may not have entirely thought that through because there's a 0 and an O next to each other, but make sure that it is the word info and then the number 0421. And you can reach out if you're having any issues. We will make sure that everybody that's trying to apply gets the waiver and doesn't have to pay the $35. But this is for domestic students only, and it's limit 1 per person. So I know that you're all just dying to apply to all 120 programs, but unfortunately, yeah, that is 1 per person. And you can do that at vcc.ca/apply. And again, we're all here online for the next couple of days to support you through that application process. Another very exciting item on my list here is the tuition credits that we're giving away. So we are giving away 3 $1,000 tuition credits. I believe you can only win one of those. So it's a great opportunity to, to get some change towards your tuition. And so if you look on the Experience VCC website, vcc.ca/experience, you can use the code SKILLS to enter to win. And actually, the more sessions you attend, the more chances you have. There's a different code for all the afternoon sessions. And then in the morning session, there's just one code for the full morning, but you can collect a few different codes in order to get more chances to win. So be sure to do that and enter to win that money. Oops, I'll leave that up there. So are there any other questions that I can get to? Or thoughts or comments from our presenters or advisor? Well, that's perfectly fine. Thank you so much for joining us. And we really do encourage you to stay in touch. You can, if you haven't applied or you're thinking about applying, it's a great opportunity to do it for free right now. And you don't have to worry about having all your documentation in order just yet. You can start creating the application right away and then provide those things when you're ready and when you have what you need. And of course, we're here to support that process for you. I do recommend checking out some of the other sessions tomorrow. We have lots of great programs and lots of opportunities to learn new things, to explore new careers. I really miss being with everybody at VCC, but I'm glad we're able to connect in this way. So I'll stay online for the next little bit. We had a pretty quick session. We want to, okay, sorry. I'll come back to your question in a minute. We had a pretty quick session, but I'm online. We're available for questions for the next few minutes, and feel free to post in the chat or to ask those questions aloud. Oops. Just put that promo code back up for applications. Oops. Can you see my screen? Yes, okay. It says it's paused, but I'll leave it up there. Okay, so there are some questions in the chat. Okay, so some that have attended previous sessions are saying it's the same code. We may have just flipped the time. The ones that are at the same time tend to have the same code. If you went to 2 and didn't get 2 separate codes, I will make sure that you get another one. So let me just look into that. Let's see if I can get you one more code. Okay. Good times. Okay, don't go anywhere. I am going to get you another code because I think we had a little tech hiccup with that. Let me see. I believe the code, if you've already been to the morning, transform is another code. So you could also enter with the code transform. I will put that in the chat too. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, I think we can go ahead and end the call a little bit early. But of course, feel free to reach out to advising. The last thing I'm going to do before we take off is just upload a PDF for you with some of the information in this presentation. And you can take that with you and then to refer to it if you need contact information or anything like that. So I'll give you I'll give you a minute just to download that, and then I'll go ahead and end this meeting. But really appreciate you joining us, and hope to see you perhaps at another session tomorrow.
Just Danielle, the promo code for the fee waiver is April 30th.
Yes, yeah. April 30th. So we say today and tomorrow, you actually have a few days to get that get that in. And that PDF should be there for you now.
Where?
Is the in the chat? I just uploaded it's called EVCC Languages and Writing PDF in the chat that you can hopefully download from. If not, Sean, if you want to DM me your email address, I can send it.
Okay. I can reach out to Chifumi, I think, because I'm in contact with her.
Oh, great. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much. All right, looks like we're all set. Thank you. Thanks, team. Some of you I'll see tomorrow. If not, future Experience VCC, hopefully in person.
Hopefully. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Danielle, let me just make sure that I downloaded the PDF so that I can share with the student.
Oh, sure. Let's see.
I think I have it here. Just give me a second.
Just, yeah, make sure it goes
Yeah,
before I
I got the PDF. Sounds good.
Whew.
All good.
All good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you, I think, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Another day.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.